If you manage a team, then there's a good chance that you need to track time, manage schedules, and handle tasks, projects, pipelines, work levels, all of those sorts of things. So today we're going to talk through ConnectTeam, which is an app that will help you to manage your daily operations. So let's dive in. Now in this software unboxing, we're checking out ConnectTeam. So I'm on the website now and it's got team scheduling, time clock, payroll. I think geofence is good, particularly to make sure that people are actually on site when they are checking in. Having checklists, forms, and tasks mean that you know that they can get certain things done or certainly fill out any kind of compliance requirements before, during, or after their shift. Somewhere to communicate with the team on updates, and I think knowledge base is a fantastic thing. It's really important that you've got documented information on how to actually run the company and do the everyday tasks. So knowledge base is a big tick for me. And of course, when you start with a new employee, having onboarding, having documentation, mobile courses, being mobile accessible is probably one of the biggest roadblocks to people actually getting on board with your platform or your processes. So making it easy for the people that happen to be in the warehouse or on the shop floor can easily get all the information they need to be able to do the job. And of course, no platform is an island, and so you need to make sure that whatever you use integrates with the other things in your business. So this platform connects with two of the major accounting systems for small businesses, being QuickBooks and Xero. But what's really important is how easy to use the software is, and does it address the standard needs that you would have in a business, and also can you customize it to suit your unique processes. Let's dive in and take a look. Okay, so I've set up a trial here and I've filled out the account and I've just got the first screen for the onboarding steps. So this says customize your app, so you got to put your company name in, and I've put YouTuber since that's what we're here for. Let's go next steps. Okay, so you got to pick your company size, and I've just gone small for this one. Let's go to industries. I can pick one that I think suits me, or you've got other industries here. So you've also got other. So if none of these really fit your type of business, this kind of works when you've got people on the ground doing things. So let's go to other, and then look at the features that we want to add to our app. So we can go with some of these operations, communications, or HR. So why don't we grab, let's see, I'm interested in time clock, schedule, forms. So let's just turn on everything and see what we get. You can add your logo, and then add your mobile. Okay, so now that I've set up the account, I've gotten a onboarding screen here. So it's got a few steps. So it wants to set up the time clock. I got an SMS just then with the link to download the app, and then it'll want me to create a job schedule, log into the app, add another admin, get started with chat, get started with updates, and then add to the directory. So let's start in the time clock. So why don't we go to time clock here. So it's taking me to the time clock activity. So I say that's where people are checking in. Staff can then select what things they're actually working on. So if they're starting a drive, or they're working on a particular project, or they've got some like general bucket tasks like marketing or sales. Okay, so it looks like it tracks their route on the map. Now I can't see that, and I've had to do this in an incognito window, because once you actually log into the app, you can never actually get back onto the website, which I find extremely annoying. So if I type in here, ConnectTeam, and I've cleaned the URL, so there's nothing on the back there, but as soon as I hit enter, it wants to open the app straight away. So I can never actually get back to the website. So then the timesheets, which kind of summarizes all the information. So you can have your time logs, but then they would summarize to a particular number of hours in a day. And then this gives the total hours, for example, a week or a fortnight, whatever your pay cycle is. All right, here we go in job scheduler. I'm gonna add a new shift. So this is where you're adding specific shifts. So if we say date, if it's all day, start and end time, break. Now, enabling claim shift. So if you work in hospitality, and let's just say you've got a manager role, you've got a kitchen role, and then you've got servers. You might have 5 servers, or like general staff that could do multiple things. So in that scenario, you could have those role positions. And if you've got multiple chefs, you've got multiple managers, then you can allow claiming of shifts, which means that you would say, this one just became available. Maybe someone called in sick. Maybe you need to cover an extra shift because there is a weekend or a public holiday where you're going to be really, really busy. So you can add an extra shift, and then what you can do is allow people to claim the shift. So if you've got 3 people, for example, so how many slots are open? So we'll say 3, and then require admin approval. So if you want to put it out there, they'll get a text message or a notification to say, this shift has become available. They'll get a notification to say, this shift has become available. Who wants to work it? So then it's got your location and any notes that you want to add or attachments. And it looks like you've got the ability to add shift tasks as well. So if we go to view shift tasks, so it might be that you need to take the bins out, that you need to clean the storage room or something like that. These sorts of things can be really good to plan ahead. So if you know that on Thursday you're going to get your stock delivered, then on Wednesday you can create a task for the stock room to be cleaned out the day before the delivery comes. That way you know that you're going to have enough room to put everything, that you're going to spend less time mucking around with it. So, and you can kind of plan ahead, so you can use that time when it's quiet on the day before to go and clean out that stock room. And task completion notification helps to know when staff are doing what they're supposed to do. And if you're monitoring this, you can make sure that, if it's not done by, say 3 o'clock, and you know that you close at 4 o'clock, that you can call in or stop by and say, hey, make sure you get this one done. And having shift templates is good. So if you've gone and built that task list, that you could have the saved task structure and notes and comments and settings that you can grab for next time. And then down the bottom, we've got the ability to save as template or to save draft, etc. And then allow custom notifications. So custom notifications, I think this is incredibly useful, by the way. So once you go in, you've got notify assigned users, don't notify assigned users. So the task will come up for the user when they're on the shift, and then select which users to notify. So let's just say you want to let the manager know as well as the staff member, or maybe the shift supervisor, then those notifications will come up. So that is for the shift publishing, not necessarily at this stage for the tasks specifically, but I still think notifications are very useful. Okay, so we've added the shift. Now we're going to log into the mobile app. Now I'm not going to show the mobile app functions in this video, so we'll just skip that one. Now you can add additional admin users, but what I want to do here is just click on the columns, which will just tell you the types of data that you can get on each user. So we can see we've got the ability to add groups, and then you've got teams, and then you've got department and branch. I think that's really useful for when you've got multi-site. So you might have either a different type of work department. So you might have the warehouse team, you might have the retail team or departments. So you might have the warehouse department, and then you might have the retail department. And then in teams, you might have the warehouse shop floor team, you might have the cleaning team, you might have the admin team. And then in groups, you might have different groups for different reasons. Maybe you have grouped together different teams or different individuals. So maybe you might group safety wardens or something like that. Inside a admin position, you can see there is a time stamp on everything that has happened. Then you've got the time off. So if there's any kind of leave to be accrued, it's going to notes. So you can have some like comments and notes. For example, if you've had a performance discussion, or maybe you noticed something that you wanted to bring up with them later. Documents, this can be any kind of performance appraisals, maybe your employment documentation. Timeline looks to be really helpful to understand the history that you have with that employee. So if I add to the event, and then maybe that is a payroll discussion, or potentially it could have been a performance discussion. And if you've upped their pay, if you've downed their pay, if you have done any of those things, then you've got a timeline which can help you later on. And then in pay rates or payroll, you can set the payroll rates for your users. So in payroll settings, it's asking me to select my payroll software, and there's quite a few in here: Sage, Mild, Xero, QuickBooks, ADP, some others. The invoicing software, it seems there's a connection with Zoho. Now we're Zoho partners, and there'll be a link in the description for that as well. Books, Xero, Reckon, and you can add others. Communications, whether you're going through Teams, Slack, your CRM system, and your website management. You can select your logo and colors. You've got admin permissions. Now ConnectTeam is free for businesses with up to 10 employees. And if you want to get ConnectTeam, I've got my affiliate link in the description, so check that one out below. You can customize your welcome screen, so when you first have an employee log on, they can get a welcome message and then get links to any of your other documentation where they can go to discover the rest of the team and connect in with other people. You can set feed topics. You can set your pay rates. Now it seems that you can only pick one currency. So if you've got multi-country pay rates, then you might need to look for another solution. And then you can set your security. So whether you've got 2FA, automatic lockout, those sorts of things. Okay, chat is pretty basic. So let's go to chat. And you've got the little chat icon just in the top right there. So it looks like you can set one-way conversations for company announcements, as well as allowing everybody else to chat. So we can type hello world, and you can add a couple of little things like a mention. And it seems like you can set teams and channels. So you can have multiple chats for your different departments, groups, teams, etc. And then you can add new chats, you can filter through chats, and then you've got your one-to-one chats here. So kind of like Microsoft Teams in a sense. Okay, so updates is kind of like your company announcements and ways to announce things into your business. So you can attach files, publish at a set time or repeatedly, set automatic reminders, require confirmation, decide if users can comment and react, colorful background, shortcuts. So this could be really useful if you want to post a safety video and maybe you need that to go out every 3 months, so you could automatically set that. So you could create a video or a document or something like that and then have that automatically posted. Let's start from scratch. You can pick a colorful background, give it a title, paste your text in here. Okay, so I've just created a announcement and welcoming people to the community and then getting them to join the Relevate community. So I've got a YouTube video that I've embedded and then I've added some text to give it some more detail. So basically you can add images, video, GIF file, YouTube, locations, links, polls, etc. Then obviously you set your recipients, your publish settings, and away you go. So this might be a dynamic group, so current employees, new employees within the first 30 days. So we can set these sorts of things. So groups might be ways to track new employees, existing employees, and future employees. Then in updates, we can manage the active ones, scheduled, and then archived. So once they've been sent out and they're done, they go over to archived. And you also get some read metrics. I'm gonna publish this one. So I'll publish it now, notify, pop up. And then lastly, adding the directory. In the directory, you get a little profile and you can find out who the people are in the company, contact info, what they do, etc. And then you've got work contacts, such as people outside of the organization, like emergency repairs, other suppliers, things like that. So let's add a contact, supplier, and save. So here is our supplier, and if we had any other information there, then we'd be able to grab that info. So checking out smart groups, we've got the ability to add segments. So you might say new employees. You can set the rules, date added in the last 90 days. So that way any brand new employees have been tagged so that they'll get all the welcome messaging, all the new information, and then once they've been established, that'll start to die down and then they'll just get the ordinary messaging or the everyday operations. Having a look at knowledge base. Okay, so we've added a knowledge base. Now we can add an article or a folder. So if you've got a knowledge base that looks like a central repository, so you might say whole of company, then you might have another one for management. So we're going to say new folder, general, and now we can add text, link, files, or a folder. So let's add some text. So we get a rich text editor, so we can add videos. Sorry, we can add files, and I presume you can still add links within there as well. Yes, you can. Okay. How to open the shop. Use the keys in the lock. Lights on. Signs out. Welcome customers. Okay, confirm. Now we've got that in the knowledge base, so then we can save that one. And we can publish this to select users or smart groups. Now, if I put smart groups, then I would need to have a group that is all active users so that they can see everything. And as you can see, we can make it available for new employees, general groups, so it might be all admins or maybe all staff. And then you've got teams, departments, branches, etc. So let's make this available for all admins. Then you can select when to publish. So if you had a big campaign coming up, you could create a marketing campaign specifically, specific folder, and then publish it there. Events, this is where you can run things like your Christmas party or dinner or something like that. So let's make a dinner at 7 p.m. and it goes for an hour. I'm going to use that calendar image, team, dinner, pizza party. Okay, then you can add your restaurant location. Then with your registration settings, so if it's the whole of company, or maybe it's a special dinner with the CEO or something like that, and you might limit it to 10 people. Okay, users can register for the event up to 5 hours before it starts. You might want to block it out a day before, or if it's something like a Zoom, a couple of hours notice, and then your attendance statuses, so people can say yes, no, or maybe. So in this case, we want a yes, and it looks like you can customize the wording, like definitely, hell no, and then kinda. And then whether or not you want to display who else is attending that event. And again, you've got that ability to publish into smart groups and do all the admins. Now, you've got this thing schedule from removal from the app. I didn't cover it before, but with events or with any of the other kind of things, and just your general data tidiness, you might want to schedule that after the event has been completed, if you're not likely to repeat it, that it goes away. In the time clock, we've got the ability to come in here, and I'm just going to click on this one, and then when I click on the settings, I can go set up the time clock. Starts on Monday. Payroll cycle is every 2 weeks. End of first period. Yep. What's your payroll software? We'll go with 0 next. And then location tracking. So you've got 3 types of location tracking. So breadcrumbs. So it will track every few minutes when they started or when they stopped. You've got clock in and out. So if when they turn it on at the start of the day, and then where they finish at the end of the day. Or you can leave it off. So if you want them to be able to give you location tracking, the user must enable sharing in order to clock in and out. So for this, I'm just going to leave it off. Okay, so now we've gone through the settings. We went through general settings, but now this is asking us to do the payroll integration and connect that before we move forward. So we go to general. You can set your workday length. So if you open 24 hours, or if you open, 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then what your default workday hours are. From there, you can set other rules, like no shift can go beyond a certain time period. Auto clock out when they're there too long. Show the difference between scheduled and work time. Highlight if employees work 10 minutes more than scheduled, or 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or 1 minute less than scheduled. Timesheet rounding, so you're rounding up to the nearest whole number. Timesheet approvals, who can sign off on that. Customizations, whether or not they can clock out or whether from the mobile app. How people handle shifts and working outside of the geofence. Payroll settings, reminding timesheet reviews, which can be very useful. Once your users go through and check that their details are correct, then that will reduce the errors when it comes to payroll, and also chasing people up. Overtime settings, so if there's an overtime rate, a daily overtime, holiday, parental, consecutive day overtime. So it allows for some quite complex rules. Breaks, whether breaks are manual or automatically scheduled. And then when breaks are scheduled. Shift attachments, so you can make them put in a customer that they're working on. This is on the form that they fill out when they add the time. You can get them to fill out what equipment they were using, how far they drove. You can require a manager's signature if you need that time to be verified by someone on site. And then you can also make them fill out a declaration, so I confirm, and then adding anything else. So you might have some form of compliance, maybe they have to fill out a particular form. You can add that here. So you can change when reminders are active, just so you're not pinging people over the weekend. So you're making sure that their reminders are only between the hours of the working hours, and you can also set a daily limit, and you can set the days of the week. So obviously you're not going to ping people on the Saturday or the Sunday. Notification settings can happen through mobile or email. Automatic reports, absences, no-shows, etc. Clock-in limitations. This is quite handy if you want to make sure that people aren't clocking in well and truly longer than when they're supposed to start, and also that then they're clocking out, that they've got a limit on when they're allowed to clock out. And then custom limits per days. Forms is where you can collect some useful information. Could be a survey, could be getting someone set up for the first time. So I'm just going to add a field. I'm going to add, okay, so I've just added some fields, and it is a quick setup form. So you could be getting into the business in the morning. So give a description, something like, this is how to open up the shop for the day, and then add a couple of tasks for people to sign off and complete. Then you can add, say for example, a signature. So they might have a little to-do item, and in there the form would say you have to open up, check in, and then turn the lights on. Then you've got 2 tasks. So one is check in, they mark that as done, turn the lights on, mark it as done, and then they might sign to say, I have completed all tasks, and then they can send it. In the form settings, you can limit entries, you can set requirement dates, you can allow the form to be attached, download, emailed. You can require manager fields such as notes and statuses, set recurring reminders, and then run automatic reports. Job scheduling, which is kind of like shift scheduling. And in this case, I'm going to add a job, create a new job. So I'm going to go to storeroom, clean the storeroom, and then you can add sub jobs. So maybe there is remove boxes, check, used by dates. So then you can assign this to a particular worker. So clean the storeroom. So these appear to be shifts, and then this one appears to be a job. Okay, so I've changed the view to by jobs, and in here we can look at weekly totals, conflicts, availability, and in the jobs view I can see that here is a job but there's no one assigned to it. So then there's sub jobs. In quick tasks I can create some simple tasks here. So clean, and then assign it to a person. Add more details, I can give it some description, add a location, frequency, so recurring tasks, very handy when you've got something that needs to happen every week or every fortnight, and then I can publish the task. I can also add subtasks if I edit, check, use by dates. Then from there, people can add comments to the job, so not sure where the keys are, and then you can filter by my tasks, all tasks, archive, labels. So if some jobs are to do with operations, if they're to do with general tidiness, maybe you can tag them as to being the most important through to least important. In the settings for the tasks, you can set who can create tasks and then also the notifications that happen with them. In the HR section, we can add courses, call this one onboarding, welcome, add an object. So YouTube video, knowledge base article, forms, audio, link, video, and then you can add multiple sections. So getting started. So maybe you've got a couple of areas for your welcome, add some text, welcome. So I've added some text here. So welcome, hello, thanks for joining us. And then you've got long text that can scroll to the bottom to mark as complete, or add a confirmation button. This is really useful if you need to make sure that someone has read a particular policy or that they understand certain instructions. And then I've been able to add a knowledge article, and you can see here that that's what it's starting to look on mobile. Then you can set your permission groups. Then once you've created the course, you can go in and have a look at the who's completed it, who's in progress, who's not started it. And if you go into the settings, you can set course due dates, and then also you can set the drip sequence. This might be handy if you have a new product launch and you need everybody to complete the new product training before the product is actually launched. In the rewards section, you can actually allow people to purchase tokens. You can gift tokens as a benefit or as a way to thank workers for doing certain work, and then they can spend those tokens on gift vouchers. This can be a great way to boost employee engagement and give people feedback along the way. Documents is pretty basic, so it's somewhere to upload your documents, but then you can start to see if there is a specific type of document. So like driver's license, and you might want to add a new type, so you give it a type, add a blank form, make it visible, hidden, set an expiration document, and then have rules around how long you can keep it for. So you can set the document packs. So if you're expecting 4 or 5 documents back that you know that you've got like a tick, or that you can see that they have all been completed. Recognition, you can assign badges to people. So this is kind of like a level of gamification. So this provides a little bit of a pop-up that will go into their mobile app. So you can put in great leadership or kudos, and there's a couple of other pages of things, happy holidays, or you can create your own custom badges. And then you can make them public or private. So you can send a little thanks, and then you can set when that is sent. And at all times, all of these things delivered on the timeline, which also helps with understanding the quality of the employee over a period of time. So when you've got management and they need to do a performance review, or you need to look back at what happened, then you can start to see, maybe something has changed along the way. Maybe they were once a great performer and now maybe they need a change of pace, or they're looking for a promotion, or there's some issue in their personal life. All of these little signs really help. Celebrations. So this is where you can make sure you're capturing birthdays and work anniversaries. And then time off. This is where people get to request their time off, their sick leave, and then deal with any unpaid leave types, etc. Now, ConnectTeam is deceptively simple. It looks nice and basic from the outside, but there's absolutely jam-packed with features. You can use it to track and manage your team operations. It blends task management, shift management, payroll, and all your onboarding, training, and HR documents together in one place. It looks like it would be really effective for any business in the hospitality trade or any kind of simple business operations. It may not be suitable for complex time tracking and ticketing and acquitting against things like retainers, for example, in the IT industry, but you could definitely use this in a lot of businesses. If you like what you've seen, we do have a link in the description, and that is our affiliate link so that you can get ConnectTeam. If you like this video and you want to see some more, check out the next video here.